Everybody, right back with you here this evening with tornado coverage. We've got a brand new tornado warning out for Lake County now. We've been kind of posting about this storm and the potency of the hail, but now there's some rotation with it as well. So let's dive right in and get into the radar. This is what we're dealing with. This is not for all of Lake County. This is for the extreme northern half of the county. That's what we continue to highlight as that area that's going to see really all the weather from the system. You get down towards Maryville, there's nothing. All right. US 30 south, we're not dealing with any weather issues. I'm not expecting that to change. It's this northern little fringe of the storm. It's the southern flank of the storm, but the northern part of the county that's bearing the brunt of this. So we've got large hail within this right now. That stretches from Whiting down into the Gary area. East Chicago's in the middle of that right now. The biggest concerns is tornado warning. It's kind of awkward, to be honest, and I had trouble seeing it at first. This is a potent storm, but you look at the warning watch box, and it goes all the way back towards South Holland and Lansing, where that tornado potential started from, and they're still in the box, and there's not much going on. So let's get into it here. We'll look at the velocity and kind of look at where we're seeing this area of rotation, because it was kind of messy over the last couple radar scans, I have to be honest. So I'm really not seeing a good signal right now. Let's put it into motion, see if we had something over the last couple scans. And yeah, I mean, there was some rotation. It's not a real good signal for it, though. But we do need to treat this like a tornado warning because it is a tornado warning, and we need to treat it like there perhaps would be a tornado with this on the ground. So I'm going to pause this and go ahead. This would be your area of rotation right here, if anything. You notice it's kind of messy on there. It's not a real clean look. We don't have a real well-defined hook within this either. But either way, we need to pretend that this has a tornado on the ground regardless. I don't think it does. It's a nasty storm. There's some strong wind with it. There's a lot of hail as well. And there is area of rotation. But again, the tornado warning's out. So let's go ahead and treat it as so. So if you're in northern Lake County right now, that does include Gary. This does not include Hobart. I know a lot of you in the Hobart area down towards Schererville. You are not in this warning right now. This is for a very small portion of the county, the extreme northern county, and this is going to roll out towards the Gary area and then eventually out over the lake, okay? This isn't something that's coming inbound. It's kind of rolling outbound. It's kind of in this direction right here, okay? So a lot of you in Lake County right now, you're probably getting the warning. I know there are sirens going off in a lot of spots. That's just the way counties work sometimes. If the county has a warning, even if it's a little tiny portion of the county, the warning goes off and you don't even have a threat. So our threat is in this, where the warning watch box is right now, where this polygon is, which is right in the Highland area. Highland, you need to be in the safe place just in case. Griffith, you're okay. This is north of you, okay? And it's going to stay north of you as the cell continues to move out over the lake. So we're talking Gary, need to be in a safe place right now. East Chicago, the storm is right over you, at least the part that's rotating. We also have hail on top of that. Hammond, you need to stay in your safe place right now. The storm, the bulk of the storm, I think, is just east of you, but let's just, out of precaution, stay there. And Hammond, actually, you look okay right now. Lansing's fine. South Holland's fine. And yeah, there is an area of rotation with this. It's not a storm that's producing a lot of hail, so sometimes we don't get a real good read of that, okay? So East Chicago, that's where this is. It's right over the Gary Chicago International Airport as well. You've got Klein Avenue that runs north and south through there as well. The Skyway, both being impacted by this severe storm and this tornadic thunderstorm right now, okay? Gary will probably be okay from the area of rotation within this, but I want you in a safe place regardless. As we get out towards the east, I know a lot of you asking here, Jacob asking, am I safe in Maryville? Yes, you are, Jacob. The storm is north of you. Moose, it's north of Munster. You're fine. Dyer, Liz, I know the tornado sirens are going off, but that's just because you're close to this. You're okay right now in the Dyer area. The storm is north of you. Elizabeth, yes, Klein Avenue area as well. In terms of heading into Portage County, or Porter County, sorry, Portage looks okay as of right now. All right. The tornadic part of the storm, I know we're looking at kind of a messy look here, but that's kind of the read we're getting on radar. This is the area of rotation right here, and it's heading out over the lake. Okay. So there's not much longer with this. They'll probably, allow this tornado warning to either expire, or they might cancel it earlier as that area rotation gets out over the lake. All right. So that's our tornado threat right now. East Chicago, Gary Chicago International Airport. The Brunswick area, this will head out over the lake here shortly. All right. let's get back to the radar because we've got a lot of hail with this as well. And that hail is packing a punch in terms of, I mean, it's doing damage. We've got hail the size of $half size hail within this. Let me get back to radar real quick. Here's our storm right now. It's clipping our northern lakeshore counties as we expected, right? Not fun, especially with that area of rotation that just popped up. So here's the radar scan. Notice how the bulk of the action now heading out over the lake. That's good news. All right, we had a little appendage with some inflow that created that area of the rotation in northern Lake County. That is now heading out over the lake, and the bulk of the storm is now out over the lake. That's good news. Portage, you may get by with this if we don't see southern development with this. So there's a chance that this starts to develop a little bit further down to the south. That's kind of what we've seen. Pardon my cold I'm fighting. But either way, if we don't see it develop south, we may end up dry in all these areas. Valpo, this storm's well north of you. It looks to stay north of you. And this is it, folks. I mean, this is the final line right here with our cold front. Our cold air is already getting into the Chicago area. So this is it. Once this, man, I keep drawing everywhere. Once this thing moves through, we'll be good from there on out, okay? So Valparaiso, Maryville, US 30 south, we're completely fine. You're not even going to get a drop of rain from the system, all right? So go ahead, go to bed. Caitlin, yes, I did get out of bed for this. I was getting ready to go to sleep. For those of you that are new on here, I do the morning show in the market I'm in right now, and I'm usually to bed 4.5 hours ago. So I've got to get up in like 2.5 hours. So sorry for the weird voice and all that. I was just getting ready to go to sleep. And then I'm telling you, every time I've done something tonight, something's been warned a second later. So I'm just going to tell Mother Nature that I'm staying up and watching her like a hawk here. But this is it. Okay. Bigger picture. I mean, there's some monster storms going into Southwest Lower Michigan. Okay, that's that stuff that went through Chicago is right here. Okay, Michigan City, Northern LaPorte County. You're going to get this storm once it comes across the lake. Will we have rotation with it then? Still too early to determine, but we certainly have some hail with it. And then northern areas of Porter County. That's it. Everyone else is fine. All right. You're not even going to get a drop of rain. You're probably seeing the lightning with this off towards the north. Let's dive in and look at the hail with this because the hail has been very impressive with this storm system as it's rolled out of areas of Cook County into Lake County there. You can see the hail. This is a good sign. Radar scan wise, we're starting to lose some of that real big hail core. So we're probably down to dime size or penny size hail right now. And that's some great news. So let's get back to rotation. Let's check on that. And then I'll be able to clear us out here if that's the case. So let's see as we go through time here. Again, we can look at all sorts of different kinds of radar. This one is the radar that shows us where the wind is and what the wind is doing within the thunderstorm. All right. So that area of rotation is now out over the lake. All right. And that's great news. So it is right. Let's see. It's right here. I mean, that, whoa, man, I got a little lag on the Zoom there. I'm sorry about that. All about visuals. So here it is right here. All right, it's now offshore. So if you're in East Chicago or Gary, stay in your safe place for another 5 minutes or so, and then you can come on out. You'll be okay. All right. This is out over the lake. It's heading out over the lake. We're fine. All right. So as we go throughout the rest of the evening here and into the overnight, what we'll be watching is this line of storms out over the lake. Temperatures are going to start to crash once this moves through. That cooling is now getting into Chicago. This line of storms is going to head. It'll brush areas 94 north as it looks right now in Porter County. We'll get some hail out of this, some heavy rain, a lot of lightning as well. And then Michigan City, we'll watch this head in your direction. All right. I would imagine as this gets out over our cold lake, which is a totally different environment out there, I would imagine that this storm system will, or this cluster of storms will start to take on different characteristics. All right. What's driving these storms is the atmosphere by far. Okay. It doesn't care about a lake. All right. It cares about the jet stream coming into it, the strong jet stream winds, a lot of upflow with this and the cold front itself. But the lake does play a bit of a factor, especially this time of year because it is so cold and it's very stable out over the lake. So I would imagine that area of rotation gets disrupted. And this will still be a decent storm that heads into Michigan City up towards New Buffalo. Probably will have some hail with it, but in terms of the potency of it, I would imagine it's going to lose some of that as it moves in. Okay. All right. So that's it. We now are rain free in Lake County. You still have that tornado warning out. You can disregard that. The Weather Service will keep that till it expires. But overall, we are now safe here in Lake County, and that would be for the northern end of the county. The rotation's out over the lake. I do not anticipate any more areas of rotation here across the region, as most of this action is really getting sucked up into this main line up towards the north. Atmospheric energy is right here at the edge of that line, and this is just the little bottom of Appendage kind of heading in there with not a lot left. So Michigan City, you'll still get a storm out of this, hopefully a little bit less potent than this, okay? All right, everybody, go back to bed, or maybe that's just me. Enjoy your evening, whatever it happens to be. We'll continue to keep you alert if anything else pops tonight, okay? All right, thanks.